Welcome to MC Experience, the Student View. I'm Brianna Hurwitz. Over the past semester, we've shown you the many ways Montgomery College helps students be as successful as possible. Hardworking administrators and staff work every day alongside our great faculty to make sure MC students have what they need in all their aspects of their academic careers. Now joining me in the studio today are two MC students who will share their experiences about Montgomery College. Sean Endicott is a journalism major, and Sara McMullin is a marine biology major. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. The first mission of MC is to help potential students find out about MC. As you will see, this is done in various ways.
I'm Karen Roseberry. I'm Dean of Student Services at the Germantown campus, but more specifically for today, I'm the college-wide Dean of Student Access. There's three main areas that have been well established here at the college that I'm working with now in my new role, and that is the Response Center, the college recruiters, and the assessment centers at each campus. I also will have coming up two new areas. One is the ACES program that we've been talking about a lot lately for working with the high schools, and the other program will be the Welcome Centers that will be established at each campus next year.
For many students, their first point of contact with Montgomery College will be through the Response Center.
The Response Center is, to me, the secret weapon of Montgomery College. And I say secret because they're at 40 West Goody, and a lot of folks don't know that they reside there. They're wonderful staff that answer lots of phone calls and emails about everything at the college. On a busy day, they could hit 1,200 phone calls in a day, or real busy, maybe 1,500. So that is a lot of talking. They are the most knowledgeable about Montgomery College because they're asked every question from A to Z. It shows you how important it is for us to keep our web information as well as any written information current and up to date so that they have the tools they need to be able to answer those questions.
Montgomery College recruiters are always on the lookout for new students.
The recruiters are stationed at each of the campuses. They have general recruiting responsibilities. For example, they're assigned to several high schools. They certainly keep in touch with each of the high schools. They all do events such as enrollment fairs, information sessions, tours of the campus. Those are the broad general duties of the recruiters.
Another important part of students getting familiar with MC is at the assessment centers.
Well, the assessment centers, we always think of the first point of contact a student has where they might be unhappy because taking a test. We really want that first point of contact to be a positive one, even though they're taking a placement test. So their function is very important to give that first impression that Montgomery College is a welcoming place. Their primary function is the OccuPlacer or ESL OccuPlacer placement test, but they also do academic testing. Some faculty who may want to do a makeup test or have a special needs student who needs extra time on test, they may use the assessment centers to provide that academic testing as well.
You've already seen a couple ways that students learn about MC, but the ACES program brings another level of contact inside county high schools.
The ACES program will be starting up in full implementation by next fall, 2013. ACES stands for Achieving Collegiate Excellence and Success. So we'll have a ACES readiness program in the 9th and 10th grades, and then 11th and 12th grades we'll have Montgomery College coaches working in the high schools on a case management level with high school students. Now when that ACES student graduates from high school and comes to Montgomery College, which many of them will, they will then be received by academic coaches, ACES coaches here at Montgomery College, who will continue that case management model so that they have that specialized care through their time at Montgomery College. When they leave Montgomery College and graduate, and if they were to go to Shady Grove, they will also have an ACES coach there. So we hope to follow them all the way through.
One new feature that will be coming soon to all of the campuses are the Welcome Centers, a place for students to get important information on all things MC.
There will be a Welcome Center at each campus. We have potential sites located. We will be working on finalizing those throughout this year and developing a staff who will be trained very similarly to the Response Center, where they're going to know everything about the college, or at least how to look up all the information of things about the college. They can give tours of the campus. They will work with the student through the enrollment process, very much like the Response Center does on the phone, but they will be doing it in person.
So Sean, we'll start with you. Can you tell me, you went to high school around here locally, correct?
Correct.
And did you see any of the recruiters at the high school that you went to?
It's been a few years since high school, but I don't know if it was specifically at Magruder, but I went to Poolesville and Magruder, which are both MCPS schools, and I was certainly familiar with Montgomery College through word of mouth. I don't particularly remember a recruiter at campus, but I'm sure they were there.
Right. Now, are you aware of the programs that were just mentioned, like the ACES program and the Welcome Center that's going to be coming up this fall? Also the Response Center and how they answer all those calls. Did you have any help and assistance with that?
Not with that specifically. I've had a lot of help from like student service centers. I went to another school before this, another college, and I was 4 years out of high school when I came to MC. So I wish I had known about those sorts of things. They probably would have helped me out quite a bit.
So you do feel that they would have helped you out and they can help future students out?
Yeah, particularly as someone who's applied to the universities at Shady Grove recently. I'm really interested in the ACES program that they mentioned. That seems like something that could help me a lot.
Right. And Sara, you went to high school here locally as well, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do you recall seeing any of the college recruiters at your school?
Well, it was a really long time ago.
Right.
So, no, I mean, nothing like this. We had recruiters come in. I remember when they did, it was such a rush that honestly it was hard to keep track of who came in. I think that if I'd had this, maybe it would have been a little bit easier. But I, just like Sean, I went to a different college and then came back.
Okay. And can you speak on how MC has come such a long way since when you were in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and then the transition that it's made?
Well, I know right before I went off to Texas A&M, I did take a summer class here, and then coming back, I mean, there definitely is a big difference. Number one, the campus is getting very pretty. Number two, I just see a lot more like enthusiasm in the school, a lot more opportunities. Just coming from like a four-year school and coming back here, I feel like I'm just as challenged, especially with science. You know, I'm very surprised at how much they have to offer and the opportunities that they have. Just recently, I finished a scuba diving class. I had no idea that they had scuba here, but you know, they offer
at the Germantown campus.
at the
right?
Germantown. But you know, you wouldn't have thought. You know, I tell people, oh, I just did scuba, and they're like, where? And I say Montgomery College, and they're like, what? When did this happen? So yeah, I definitely see like a lot of changes.
Right. So you think that I guess the education you can learn at four-year is very comparable to what you can learn here, correct?
Yeah.
And Sean, would you agree, since you said that this wasn't the first school that you went to as well?
I would agree a lot with what Sara said on class selection being surprising. I've recently started taking American Sign Language courses, and last night I found out you can get 30 to 31 credits of ASO classes just at MC. And the professors here have continued to impress me. It's not just a professor that's taught here for 40 years. I had a meteorology professor that also teaches at the Naval Academy. I have taken a psychology professor that also teaches at Johns Hopkins, which is obviously known for psychology. So not only have I been impressed by the diversity of the course load, I've also been impressed by the professors and the caliber of the classes.
Right. And do you plan on taking further classes next semester? You said you're already enrolled for the sign language classes, but after this coming semester, do you plan on taking more?
Well, yeah, I'm enrolled in summer 1 and summer 2 already, and I go to school full time, so every summer I take 12 credits, and that's always here at MC. And I see that continuing even between undergraduate years and maybe even some graduate work, because a lot of people in those summer courses are coming to get prerequisites for master's work, and they really do help, and they transfer to a lot of places.
And Sara, really briefly, you're interested in taking classes further on as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any specific ones in mind?
Well, I'm really excited about environmental biology because I'm a nerd. And hopefully a couple of TV production classes, and I haven't really decided what else.
Awesome. Well, getting enrolled is just the beginning of the process here at MC, and Melissa Gregory tells us Enrollment Services and the Financial Aid Office helps MC students make their financial aid process a very smooth one.
We are the Office of Enrollment Services and Financial Aid. There are a lot of different functions under that umbrella. We encompass the admissions function where we admit students to the college, send them information about their MyMC user IDs and their M numbers and their residency. We also have the Office of International Students where we certify students from other countries to study at Montgomery College. We have a large veterans population, and we have military enrollment services specialists to help our students with being certified for the GI Bill and dealing with any issues that might be involved in that process.
MC students come from all different backgrounds, and some come through really tough circumstances to make it here. Enrollment Services also runs a program that's geared for students who come from disadvantaged backgrounds.
Under the umbrella of Enrollment Services, we also have the Educational Opportunity Center, and that is a federal TRIO grant-funded function. They help students get their GED. They didn't graduate from high school. They help students with the college admission process. They assist students in applying for financial aid.
Lots of us at MC need financial aid so we can go here. And every year, Financial Aid puts on a special event to help students clear a major hurdle in the often confusing financial aid process.
College Goal Sunday is a national initiative that helps students and parents complete their free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA, which is a required form to apply for federal student aid funds. It's important to students because a lot of times they feel overwhelmed with completing the application, the FAFSA, on their own. So they're grateful to have financial aid professionals and other volunteers to sit down with them one-on-one and help them complete this form.
And there's another cool thing I learned when I talked with Melissa Gregory.
One of the other initiatives we have is looking at centralization of some of our services so that we can be more efficient with certain processes, looking at does everything have to happen on every campus, or can we do the work a little bit differently, get it done faster and still get it done just as well?
Okay, I'll admit it. Sometimes students think we know it all, but we really don't. So I asked, what's the best thing a student can do to get ready to enroll at MC?
I think the best thing students can do to prepare for enrollment and financial aid, and this is a no-brainer, I'm sure, don't wait until the last minute. It just makes everything more stressful for you, the student. The office is going to do everything we can to get you through the process no matter when you start. But you're a lot less stressed as a student if you start earlier, and that means applying for admission earlier.
And before we say goodbye, I asked her what's the one thing she thinks no one knows about her department.
Another thing most faculty and staff may not know about our jobs is that we do them very, very well. We are audited, we are reviewed, we're constantly being looked at, everything that we do in the process. There aren't a lot of mistakes. We do a very good job. We handle a large number of students with a very dedicated staff.
So earlier we talked about the enrollment process with MC and how both of you are interested in taking classes further on and how the enrollment process works. And if you've seen anyone at your high school, sorry, I was going to say college, now we want to touch on the financial aid process. Have both of you taken advantage of financial aid here at Montgomery College?
This will be my first semester taking advantage of it. I've been able to kind of pay for classes through the Pell Grant and that's it. But this year, I have to be honest, it is not that easy. I think there's a lot of things that students don't realize they have to do. Last semester, I filled out the FAFSA, sent in everything with my IRS, and then I got something that said you have to take a class. And the class is good because it tells you what loans you can take out, how much money you're going to have to pay back. I think that's important, but I wish they would have had a packet to let me know when to do everything because several months later I found out I had to do this. And this semester I'm still running into problems like that where there will be a new form I have to turn in that I wish they would have told me earlier on.
So maybe having like a packet, like you said, with what's going to come ahead instead of having to ask, okay, where do I go next? What's my next, I guess, point to turn to go in the process of the financial aid would help.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean, have you had to?
I haven't really looked into the financial aid that much. I know it's available. I think with subjects that be difficult, there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of different forms. They have a very large student supply that they need to reach out to. One of the strengths of Montgomery College is when I went to student services, and I kind of felt like there's a local jewelry store, their slogan's kind of like, walk in and say, I'm a man, I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel like you can do that at some of the places in MC, be like, I'm new, I have no idea what's going on, what do I need to take, what do I need to do? And they've really helped me out in that. So I would like to see people have a similar response to the financial aid process here at MC.
Okay. And she did mention the Educational Opportunity Program. It helps students get their GED and then be able to come to college. Would you say that that's beneficial for students who need help, and like that's a good gateway entrance program?
Absolutely. I think it's an incentive because I graduated, but my sister did not, and she worked to get her GED, and at that point they didn't have that incentive, and she dragged her feet for a really long time. I think sometimes things come up, and someone's senior year of high school can be really hard, and they just don't get through it. And to have that incentive, I think it would help motivate somebody to get their GED quicker so that they can move on.
Have you seen any instances like that yourself?
Well, actually, I have a GED. I didn't do it through MC's programs, but I can personally testify to senior year being hard. I had some issues that I was going through, and getting a GED really turned my life around. It was a very hard time for me in high school, and that in conjunction with some other things really has put me on the path to where I am today. So I'd be all in favor of anything that helps students get a GED. I went through almost all of high school, and there's a stigma behind it. But when you can overcome that stigma and recognize it's not about necessarily where you started or where you came from, sometimes it doesn't even matter where you end up, it's how you got there. And Montgomery College epitomizes that. I know that there's occasionally a stigma about MC. People don't seem to view it the way that they probably should, even though those that come here see how strong it is and how much it really can help you. In the same way that Montgomery College has helped me transfer to four-year universities and progress in my upper level education, a GED bridged that gap and took me from struggling in high school to progressing towards adulthood.
That touches on what I want to talk about next. And you said there's a stigma between a GED and also a student who goes to MC. Can you talk or speak on a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I know growing up, I went to a lot of private schools growing up until middle school, and not only do they get a negative reputation towards public school in general, which I wasn't a big fan of, or I'm not now, I don't know, probably then I was part of it, but you don't get that respect that you do. But as I went through MCPS and I went through MC, you recognize that there are people here that try just as hard, probably even harder. A lot of them try harder because where they come from, it wasn't given to them. And Montgomery College shouldn't have that stigma. My brother came here for summer courses, and he was telling us that he was more impressed with, he said they have wider selection of classes here than at his four-year college. And I've already talked about how wonderful the professors are. So any stigmas, I know the nickname MK is not as popular anymore, but I think it's pretty ridiculous. I couldn't be happier with what MC's done for me. It creates an environment where I can challenge myself, but it's not overwhelming, and it delivers exactly what it's supposed to. It's a two-year school that allows me to learn the skills that I need to go to a four-year university.
Well, that's going to bring us to our next topic, and it's important to make an educational plan. And it's no secret that my guests already know making a good educational plan is critical to getting the most out of your time here at MC. College-wide Dean for Student Services, Dr. Monica Brown, tells us how her department focuses on this part of the MC experience.
What students need and should receive from my area after they've enrolled, that's after they've been admitted and they've taken their placement tests, they should participate in a Montgomery Advising Program, otherwise known as MAP, or an IMAP for international students. And that program provides students an opportunity to meet in a group advising session, and they get the results of their placement test, and then they learn about what classes they're able to register for as a result.
Dr. Brown made sure I understood the difference between the MAP program and the Student Educational Plan.
The educational plan is something that we really encourage students to do through our student development classes, in particular DS 107 and DS 104. They're our student development FYE classes.
Our next stop was the Germantown campus, where I got a chance to talk about MC's FYE program with Angela Dawson, Student Development Specialist.
FYE stands for First Year Experience. What we try to do with the program is try to promote success for students. So FYE basically encompasses 5 components: new student orientation, first year seminar, academic advising and counseling. We have a resource guide called the Insider's Guide that's like a student handbook that first year students use that has all of our resources there. We try to connect students with the institution by getting involved in developing leadership skills.
We also talked about what students like me should do to better prepare themselves for their part of the college process, and also ways the college community can better help or direct new students.
Students should start early. I think one of the greatest challenges we face is with students coming in oftentimes at the last minute, and because we're an open enrollment institution, students sometimes come in at the last minute and they have to go through the process of being admitted, of taking their placement test, and then going through, as I said, the MAP or IMAP. And then during that point, students are allowed to register for classes, and oftentimes as a result of coming in late, they don't have the schedules they would like. There may not be many classes still available to them, and it's often that we see these students having more difficulty in terms of success than their peers.
Dr. Brown also talked with me about some exciting new initiatives and programs she's working on.
I am tasked with leading the effort in creating a college-wide developmental advising model. Along with that, I'm responsible for creating a college-wide Combat to College Veterans program, and to build that up along with veteran centers on each campus. In addition, I have responsibility for the athletes in terms of developing support services for our athletes and a mandatory orientation program to assist them in being successful and to provide them support services throughout their time here at Montgomery College. I also have responsibility for establishing mental health services for students at the college.
So we just watched a video on, once you're enrolled, what's next? When you guys enrolled for Montgomery College, did you feel a sense of, well, what's next? What do I do now?
I definitely felt that. Maybe my situation was a little different because I re-enrolled, and there was a lot of up in the air with transferring over credits as well as some of the placement tests. I guess I already knew that math was going to be a problem with me, and my counselor was great. I wish I remembered her name, but she was really great, and she helped me figure out what classes I'd need to transfer over to Maryland, and then she suggested that I go to speak to somebody at the DSS, the Disability Support Services, and they have been a lifesaver with everything, and I think because that counselor helped me find them, that's going to be the difference of me, graduating in a year or two as opposed to 3 years, where it would have taken me so much longer to get through math, for instance.
And you?
I'm really happy with the programs here. I did have that sense of what do I do next, but as I said in the last segment, I kind of just walked in and said, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you want to help me? And they knew a lot. They really did. They showed me ARTSIS, what I needed to go to Maryland, things that would help me automatically transfer if I keep my grades up, and those sorts of things. I would say something that's especially helped me, and it seems like a little thing, but I really appreciate it on MC's website, is sometimes you get those classes that show up and they're like, you should try so-and-so. And one of those classes was Intro to Journalism, and it said like, Intro to Journalism, a fun elective. And I was at the time switching between psychology and journalism as a field of study, and that was just such perfect timing. I'm sure I could have found it, but you don't always seek those things out. So I appreciate how much the school seems to advertise these things that can really help me out, and I'm really grateful that the counseling programs has been so good. I would recommend listening to them. Don't be upset if your credits don't transfer. Just go take what they tell you to. I've taken 3 college English courses in 3 semesters, and I'm still taking English 101 this summer, which is fine, and I'm sure I'll still learn from it, but it's a little out of order when you've taken higher level English courses and you're dropping back to get down to that one. So following if they talked about the map, they talked about other things, following what they actually tell you to do in the order that they want you to do would probably lead to a less stressful college environment.
Right, and personally speaking on what Sara was saying about math, it's like from a personal standpoint I can understand, because math is my absolute worst subject, and it was, if I had known about, maybe I should have looked into the DSS program, and that could have helped me. I know they have classes like DS 107, they'll help you try and better your math skills and brush up on what your weaknesses are as far as math or any other subjects go, particularly speaking on. But being seasoned students, do you feel like these are great programs once you're enrolled that they can help students further in their college career?
I think so. I mean, like I said, my counselor was great. I did kind of walk in like, I think I walked in and said, I was a vet tech, I'm done with it. I value my hands, I want to do something else, what do I do? And like, she was fantastic. She looked at my old major at A&M, we talked about the stuff that I liked, and that's where she was like, try some television courses and try biology and see where you can go, because then you could still work with animals in a safer environment, but you could still go back to your old major. And they were really friendly and helpful. At the DSS, they were great. With the math, one of the things they offer is something called TRIO, where you get free counseling, free math tutoring, free counseling.
Wow.
As long as you're there, and I believe it transfers over to a 4-year school as well. So they really want to help you get through it. And yeah, if you walk in and you're just like, I don't know what to do, but I like building things, they'll work with you to try to find the right program.
And really quickly, Sean, what you were saying about how you can just walk in, clean slate, I'm lost and I need help. And it's great that, the faculty and MC can have all these different programs and speak on, to what, I guess, tailor it to the customize your experience here at Montgomery College as to what you need help with, and here are the steps you need to take. It just takes that first initiative to be able to go and say, I need help, what's next?
And you really feel comfortable there because other people are doing the same exact thing. And you walk up and you can have an appointment. They have I consider flexible hours. They have wonderful departments here. Right. One of the things about MCs, people don't know the services that we have here. I didn't know about what you just mentioned, and a lot of us don't know. The counseling department's here to help. That's their full-time job.
And we can actually find that on the website. And it's great that, now students can know about this. And I want to thank you both for joining us today. If you'd like more information about anything you've seen in the show, you can just log on to our website and check out all the great information Montgomery College has available. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.